Where the name Mechnuggets came from, it's fast food for your eyes, void of any nutritional value. It's just cool robots for the cool robots' sake.
Yeah, Andre and I worked together through the development of Gotham Knights for about 5 years.
To have an IP that you grew up with and to be able to put your own twist on it and your own mark, it's humbling.
Watching him define his own workflows and styles through the tools that he's using, it's been amazing. I think that's something I always connected with him over because I share that same passion. It wasn't just trying out new tools. We ended up building an entire pipeline around Andre's concept art. It became like a big part of the way we did parts of the project.
Really fun to be able to be part of this whole universe, be able to make my own Batmobile.
We worked together next to each other over the half of a decade within the concept team on the character side. At the beginning, I remember he was using 3D code. He was, painting more in Photoshop. He gradually started doing more VR stuff, and then he started doing really wild, creative, 3D designs in VR. And that's where I think Andre really found his thing. And he thrived on it, and which is really exciting to witness from as a co-worker, as a friend.
I had the pleasure of working with Andre and sitting right next to him for a couple of years when I was at WB Games Montreal. Watching him come in every morning, he would just say hi and then just plug himself into the Matrix for 8 hours a day. And then at the end of the day, he would just come out and show us a bunch of very crazy ideas. He would always think about how things worked, how they moved. It was honestly so impressive watch him do that day after day, week after week, and being so efficient at it. I definitely learned so much just by sitting next to him and seeing how he solves problems. It's very rare, and I feel like he's definitely one of a kind and a pioneer in that field.
There's a feeling inside of my chest that I need to express something, I need to make something, and need to get that energy out. I think I mostly create for myself, just because it's something that I feel deep inside of me, the need to make things, the art of it, and just the beauty or the design of it. I don't create something with a story in mind, I just try to create a cool visual, and maybe there's storytelling in the visual, but it's not my main focus. I just want to make something beautiful. Probably it's something subconscious that I do. I just create because I need to get stuff out. Also really like the problem-solving aspect of concept art, making a cool weapon that also has to be functional. I really like games and puzzle, and I really enjoy that aspect of concept art, solving a problem, trying to find a solution.
For me, it was like probably almost even intimidating trying to get to know Andre. It was like, holy shit, he's doing like really polished work all in VR.
I was at work and I was just looking at YouTube videos, and I ended up finding a VR game, I think. I realized, oh, you can sculpt, and then I tried that and it just blew my mind. Like, it really changed the way how I work and how I see. For the first couple of weeks, I was so absorbed by it that I would get super motion sick because I would work too long in it. I'd spend 8 hours plus with the headset on, and now I'm more conscious of my health and my body, and so I try to take breaks and try to not overwork myself. It's just part of my workflow now, just part of how I work. I picked up VR and I got good with it. It just unleashed whatever is in my head. Thoughts just materialize in front of me.
It's a lot of ideas. Kind of developed a personal visual language.
I could do everything now. I could just make whatever I think of. And I think in the future there's going to be a new technology and a new way of working that we don't know yet. That's going to take us, further. Plugging it directly in your brain, making shit with your hands. Like, you don't need a headset to be able to sculpt. That would be really cool. Like, just your thoughts directly into making things. Maybe that's something that will happen. I think I'm gonna go with it wherever the technology takes it.
After he adopted VR, I think that unleashed more of his creativity. He's very much a specialist. There's not a lot of people who do it.
Yeah, I was always into art since I was a little kid. Both my parents used to be graphic designers. I would spend time, let's say, at their office. They would just sit me down with like a bunch of markers and have fun for the day, and I would just draw. And I would trace over Dragon Ball characters, like I would draw Batman or Power Ranger stuff. In school, I was always drawing. I was just drawing nonsense, like anime characters or monsters or dragons and stuff like that, but just for fun. I just stumbled onto a Feng Zhu video. It mesmerized me. I realized concept art was a career. That's really something I wanted to do. I kind of dropped everything and just focused on that. I was drawing like 16 hours a day. I was telling myself that it's just a matter of time. I never doubted that I could do that. My goal was to get like as good as I could, as fast as I could. I learned by myself rather than going to a school. I would try to find the best teachers I could online, the top of the industry at that time, and then just trying to mimic what they were doing or try to learn from their tutorial. It is hard and it takes a lot of time, and the competition is strong, and you need to be on top of your game to be able to perform in the industry.
It's a hard job. You need some serious drive to accomplish anything.
It comes from within, and it's like therapy, I guess. All those things, even if you're trying to block them out, like your taste or like your draftsmanship, even if you try to unlearn all that stuff, it still comes through. If you feel very excited about something, that fun feeling usually comes through, and people see it better than you can see it. My earliest memories with like cool robots would be super young age, I think maybe 3 or 4, sitting on the floor and watching Power Rangers, the Megazord and all the transforming robots. I was 8 years old. We had an outing in Chinatown. My parents, they gave me money to buy lunch. I ended up founding a small Chinese shop. In the corner there was a Gundam, and I looked at the box and blew my mind. I was like, what is this? And I bought it with my lunch money, and I didn't eat that day. Came back home, I realized you could actually build it and put it together, and that completely shocked me. I was like, okay, this is something crazy. I think that's where my love of collectibles really comes from. I didn't do it properly. I didn't cut it with pliers and X-Acto knife. I would just rip the piece straight from the runner and then put everything together as crude as you could. But at 8 years old, it just really clicked with me and blew my mind.
Pleasure to know Andre outside of work and kind of discover his passions for food, skateboards, or collecting Gundams or other weird stuff he's into.
He's always had this influence of mecha, Gundam, model kits.
A lot of it is about understanding how things function. My fun is to make it and understand how things move, how things clip together, or just seeing like the beautiful shape of a cool robot helmet. It's very meditative because you're absorbed into making something. You have to focus on clean cuts, detailing stuff properly, and you get into that zone or that flow of just making something, and the world kind of disappears. The fact that my office is full of books and collectibles is just because I like looking at cool stuff. It's appealing to the eye, it's appeasing to the brain. And when you try to make something that's beautiful, you need to be able to recognize what good design is. That's why I try to surround myself with, beautiful objects and art, because it activates my brain and makes me appreciate what beauty is. Games definitely is a huge inspiration, it's a huge part of my life. Ever since I was a kid, I can't remember the first time I picked up a game controller because I was so young. My dad had a NES and I just picked up the controller, and I grew up with games. I still play games all the time, and I don't see myself not playing games. It's a huge part of my life. It's so important that when I discovered that games were a career, I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. And I like movies and I like anime. Sci-fi books from the 70s are amazing. But I find video games are much more entertaining because you're partaking in the action. You are the main character and you make the decisions. It's really fun to lose yourself in the dream world of games, and whenever a game is really immersive with the world that it's creating or the design or even the story, you kind of forget the real world for a second. I went into 3 different graveyards, one in Paris, one in Barcelona, and one in Rome, just taking cool pictures of tombstones. It was very fun just going through the graveyard, taking cool pictures of rocks and fun detail. I understand that it's a hobby and I'm not trying to be the best at it. I'm just enjoying taking pictures and it kind of feels like a game to me. I enjoy doing photography because I still have that fun. I was traveling with Sarah. I would take photos to capture beauty and good design and cool stuff. I discovered that photography also has a high ceiling and a lot of things to learn, lenses and cameras, and trying to become good at it. You're able to express stuff in a very different way. You can only take pictures of things that are in front of you, but how do you make those things beautiful? How do you showcase how beautiful that dish is or how beautiful that landscape is? Only you have that eye or taste to be able to express that. Always interested me. My dad is a chef and I try to learn from him. Cooking is very creative. It's the same feeling of making something and you end up with something crafted. I find that very beautiful. trying the best food out there, the most pretty food. It's very inspiring because people take it very seriously, the same way people take art seriously. Whenever I see somebody do something the best that they can, I really respect that, and I really enjoy seeing something that's well done or well designed. To make better food, you need to eat good food too. You need to understand what you're trying to make. I was playing chess a lot when I was a kid. I think my parents signed me up for chess club at school. It's a very pure game. It's only about outthinking your opponent. Rediscovered it recently just because I was watching a YouTube video and then some chess stuff was recommended to me. I was like, oh, this would be fun to play. I started to play online. It's very humbling to play a 13-year-old that just destroys you. I'm not the best at it compared to everybody else that plays chess. Like, I'm just some guy climbing the ladder and then trying to get better and better at stuff. The limit is just so high. Learning it's a lot of fun. I'm kind of lucky in the fact that I can do art professionally. It's not for everybody, but for some people, it's everything. I wouldn't see myself doing anything else than this because I would be bored, because I wouldn't be fulfilled. I need to create things. The things I want to create the most, cool robots, creatures and vehicles and just cool shit.
He was an early adopter on a lot of art technology tools. He could pick something up, see how it would be useful, and then go with it. People first saw what Andre was doing, there was some resistance. Andre silenced them with the results. He's also like super chill, nice guy, a professional. I love that mindset, staying humble, keep learning. It's something I strive to do in my own life. He does it really well.
Terrific at what he does. No bullshit. Got to know him more as a friend. Has been a pleasure, and to see what he does, his path.
He's so smart, he's so knowledgeable, but at the same time very down to earth.
Andre's awesome. His artwork is equally awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see what he does next.
He's always calm and collected with his feet on the ground, and
We gotta shine the spotlight on him a bit.
As an artist, I'm sure he will go even further.
What drives the kid in you, the nostalgia, it's I think where the most fun designs come. I kind of try to bring back that fun aspect in my work. Silly robots or like silly characters or kind of a humor in it. If you do what you like, somebody's gonna resonate with it. Catering to other people's taste is not the way to create something unique. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's very gratifying if you're able to make something special. It will always be me that's creating, and it will always be my heart in the machine.